Hello, this is Crystal Racing here with a video judging Kimi Raikkonen's 5 years at his second stint at Scuderia Ferrari, and here we have a full list of Kimi Raikkonen's results over the past 5 years. And then of course beneath that I have the Crystal score, where I marked every race that Kimi completed at least roughly about 70% race distance, a score out of 10. And then I added all the scores together for each year and divided it by the number of eligible scores and came up with an average score for those seasons. And as you can see, apart from 2015, which of course I'll get to later, every year Kimi has had some progressive improvement over his time at Ferrari. Of course, 2015, there's a bit of a problem with the scoring. The problem is, of course, that was a year where most races it was pretty much Mercedes out in front 1-2, Ferrari right after them, and then it was Williams, Red Bull, and etc. etc. Of course, what I'm referring to is that 2015 was a year where if your car was second quickest, you'd probably be in third or fourth, and then of course if it was fifth quickest, you'd probably be down in 9th or 10th place. Yeah, and of course, in that 2014, Kimi Raikkonen had a dreadful season. I cannot think of any excuses for how bad he was that year. Yes, of course, the car handling was pretty bad. There was no front-end grip, which completely, put Kimi off balance. But of course, quite frankly, I mean, some of the races he produced, like Malaysia, Japan, Germany, Kota, he was just nowhere to be seen, and quite frankly it was more of a midfield fight that year. Whilst of course Alonso was miles out in front and scored over 161 points. Of course, if you applied the old top 6 point scoring system with 10, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, Kimi Raikkonen would have only scored 4 points for 2014, because of course he would have got 1 point for Hungary and then 3 points for his brilliant drive at Belgium. And really on that basis, I mean, he had a much worse season that year than his rookie year in 2001, where of course he scored 9 points for Sauber. 2015 saw some improvement, but of course at this point he had Sebastian Vettel as his teammate. Of course, it was a year, though, where bad luck began to factor in quite badly. Of course, he had a bit of a dodgy race at Monaco, Britain, but of course, there were problems that happened for him at Britain and Belgium, where, of course, the pit strategy went wrong at Britain. His car broke down in Hungary. Of course, at Austria, he crashed out with Fernando Alonso after qualifying down the grid. Of course, I didn't give him a score because, quite frankly, it was just I ranked it down as being unfortunate. Although, of course, in retrospect, I could have marked it down as something like a 2 or 1 for that day, which would bring down the score, but never mind. But, of course, that season in 2015, I didn't mark anyone down. Then, of course, later on in the year, he got involved in incidents with Bottas at Russia and Mexico, and in all, he only picked up 3 podiums. But, of course, the thing was, there wasn't really many impressive performances up and down the field, so I couldn't really do much more than that. 2016, for me, was actually a far better year than 2015, in that he outqualified Vettel 11-10, but the thing was, though, after Austria, he did not pick up another podium. And it has to be said, whilst there was a bit of the old Kimi coming back at this point, I can't really say much more. Well, okay, yeah, at Bahrain, if it wasn't for his bad start, he could have won the race. Russia, he got overtaken by Bottas in the restart before re-overtaking him again. Of course, Vettel got taken out in the first corner by Kvyat. Spain, he missed out on the win after getting stuck behind Verstappen. Then he was pretty lucky at Austria when Vettel suffered a tyre blowout, and then Rosberg got involved in that last lap collision with Hamilton. Kimi was a bit foolish at Monaco, we had to be said, in 2016 by understeering into the Arco barrier, and then driving straight down a tunnel with his car mangled. Quite lucky not to get sanctioned for that incident. But towards the end of the year, really, I think Kimi's motivation was going. 2017 was, well, quite a difficult year, if that has to be said. Whilst he was a lot closer to the front dish in 2017, my goodness me, he had some serious bad luck. At Spain, he got taken out by Valtteri Bottas. Then at Azerbaijan, he got hit by Bottas again, where, of course, we got that it cannot be the same guy again radio message, which, of course, it was the same guy. And unlucky for Kimi was Bottas got back up to second. Kimi tried to drive around but had to park up with a few laps to go, hence why he was classified 14th. He did improve though in Britain, where he outpaced Vettel all weekend to get a podium despite Kimi suffering a tyre puncture, which of course Vettel would get a tyre puncture a few laps later. Then of course in Hungary, Kimi wanted to stay out a bit longer, just like in Monaco, but was called in early so that Vettel could win the race. Yeah, nice bit of team orders there, Ferrari. And then, of course, came Singapore, where Sebastian Vettel literally lost a plot, smacked into Max Verstappen, who in turn had nowhere to go but to hit Kimi. And then, of course, Alonso got taken out as well, so that was really, quite frankly, unfortunate. And then, of course, at Malaysia, Kimi qualified second, but, of course, thanks to the Ferrari power unit failing, he could not make the start. Kimi would end the season well done with 3 consecutive podiums at COTA, Mexico and Brazil, before a modest 4th place finish at Abu Dhabi. And then we get to 2018, where of course Kimi Raikkonen out-qualified Vettel in the opening round in Australia, but thanks to the horse's wheel nubs going haywire, Kimi ended up in 3rd place while Vettel won the race for a second year in a row, the same Australian Grand Prix for a second year in a row, and then disaster struck at Bahrain. As you may have seen, of course, Ferrari suffered the same wheel hub failure as Haas at the previous race, and poor old Francesco Cigarani was the guy who would end up having his leg broken. Kimi Raikkonen was really, frankly, a bit embarrassed and shocked by it all, hence why he just stormed off. Yes, it wasn't the best reaction, but yeah, but Kimi would kind of recover his form slightly in China and Baku, although of course in Baku he was really lucky to get second place. But and I think I will say this about 2018. 2018 was a season where Kimi picked up a lot of good luck, which of course had completely escaped him in the past 4 years or so. In a sense, of course, I wouldn't say he drove that much better in 2018. He got the results he finally deserved. Of course, he got 5 consecutive podium finishes from France, Austria, Britain, Germany and Hungary. He was extremely lucky to be taken out at the start at Belgium thanks to Ferrari's split strategy in qualifying, where of course the first half of Q3 was raining and then of course it dried out very quickly, meaning that of course Kimi ran out of fuel because they put him on a low fuel strategy to see whether he could get pole position under wet conditions, and gambling on him, the rain to continue, but of course it dried out whilst Vettel had more fuel. Yeah, nice thinking there, Ferrari. And then, of course, Monza saw Kimi take his first pole position in almost 18 months. He looked like he was going to win the race until, of course, his tyres wore out and Lewis Hamilton overtook him. 3 anonymous races later, Kimi finally had his crowning moment at COTA. Finally, he got his first win in 5 years and I was over the moon. But, of course, in a sense, it kind of felt a bit case of too little too late. Of course, Kimi will be driving for Alfa Romeo this coming season. I am looking forward to it because, of course, it means that Kimi will no longer have to suffer any more. Well, hopefully, he will not have to suffer any more dire pit strategies, unless, of course, Alfa Romeo's pit strategy crew turn out to be even more incompetent. Thank you for watching this video. This has been Crystal Racing. I will see you again next time.